Alright, so I wanted to do one quick video here. When Justin and I put the crank and the camshaft in, the first steps in building this engine, I didn't do any video, so I just wanted to do a quick recap here. So the first thing we did is put our camshaft in, and this here's the camshaft. It goes right in, just stabs right in. And you can probably see the lobes down there on the cam turning. And then we put the crank in. So the crank is basically doing your bearings. And your bearings, there's this is a bearing. There's a lower half and an upper half, and that's really all there is to it. So before you just rest the crank in to the journals, let's take a look here on the end real quick. So this is the crankshaft right here, and you'll see this little rim right there. That's the upper part of the bearing. And then down here, you'll see right here, that's the lower part of the bearing. So basically what you do is, before you drop the crank in place, you put the lower part of the bearing into the cavities of the block. And then you take each of these mounting caps, and you take the upper part of the bearing, and it kind of snaps up into the cap. And then you just torque the cap down. It goes to 20 foot-pounds and 44 and then 70. So they're all torqued down at 70 foot-pounds. And that's it. Your crank's pretty much done. But one thing you do is, dropped on the floor there, we use this plastic gauge. You see this or not? It's a little wax filament. And you cut a little piece off, and before you put the cap on, you put that little piece of wax there on the journal here, and then you torque it down to spec. Then you take it off, and this wax filament will squish. And what you'll see is a little fat little line, and there's gauges on here that then you can tell what your clearances are by how thick that little filament squished. And we were right in spec for 1.5 thousandths for each of our journals. So this thing came out really well. This crank just turns beautifully. It feels nice and smooth. There's no play. We're on a great start to this engine. And next we're going to put the pistons in. And before that we have to ring the pistons. But before that we have to size the pistons to the bore. So maybe I'll do a live video of sizing one ring so you can see what that's about. And hopefully this video came out okay.